All right. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to WisdomSeed High Self Battle Room. It's a four-parted live coaching series where we are dealing with real problems which are being addressed by real professionals with their real-time breakthroughs. Tonight's theme is breaking in the inner chaos. Now, if you have ever felt like your mind is not shutting up and it is not even taking any kind of orders or any kind of instruction in a proper way, even when things are looking fine, so this is the night for you to understand and get an insight in those particular areas of your mind. So, hi, my name is Abhijit Jagtap. I'm founder of WisdomSeed. We are from 7 years working into the field of mental wellness and coaching. And this particular initiative is in order to get more demystification of the topic that we have never touched in only terms of concepts. But today we're going to talk about the techniques that are involved. So I am thrilled to guide you through this 60 minutes of insight, clarity, and breakthrough with three incredible coach are with us tonight, and let me introduce them to you. So first of all, I would like to introduce on board Mr. Atish Bhalerao. So he is a founder and a director of TrainingInbox, co-founder of Phylpt. So I think I have pronounced that well. Okay, and his future focus entrepreneurship is revolutionizing the employability and physical literacy in India. That is what he is known for. In his work span, he has covered corporate training, executive coaching, leadership development, and a powerhouse of business strategies and holistic growth. So Ashish, welcome. Atish, all welcome on board.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abhijit sir, for having me here on this wonderful topic. Would love to share my insights.
Great, great. So second, we have Dr. Ishwarya with us. She is an activity-based facilitator and a 360-degree feedback specialist. Now, when I say activity-based facilitator, that is something that she would be having a lot of techniques and a lot of go-to, analogies where we can work on. And she bring in a very good insight about behavioral psychology and adult learning to help professional decode their identity, that is they are struggling with their identity, role conflicts, and emotional blocks as well. So welcome, Ishwarya, on the board.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you.
Right. Okay, great. And our third speaker today is Miss Nisha G Pramod. She is a founder of Basil Learning Center, a global master trainer, educator, and the one thing that I love about her is she is also a writer. So she has been very good in storytelling. So she has specialized into all her example or whatever experience that she has. She has a mental understanding about emotional intelligence, trauma transformation, and coaching, and helping people reconnect with their calm, creative center through self-awareness. So welcome on board, Nisha. Thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much,
joining
Abhijit.
us. So on behalf
Wonderful.
of Wisdom Seed, I would like to welcome all great minds and all experienced powerhouse to talk and tackle this particular segment that we have about how to settle the breaking the inner chaos. So the first question goes to Atish. That is that what is the overthinking trap, and why high achievers spiral in in silence? If this is what you have already seen in yourself, in your clientels, in your coaching arenas, or even if you have observed some of the instances, so I want you to shine some light and break the cookie for us.
All right. So thank you so much, sir. Starting, the discussion or the topic is starting from me, and precisely about the overthinking trap. Uh, I personally am a strong and a firm believer that if you're not an overthinker, that means you are not working, or you are not alive. So you need to be overthinker. All right.
Mhm.
If you're not overthinker, that means your mind is dead, right? So you
Right.
need to be overthinker. But
Wow.
um, what is this overthinking trap? Is where do you analyze? Where do you put a full stop? Where do you put a period to that overthinking? Uh, there are a lot of times, and there are a lot of people, especially specifically, specifically after COVID, everyone in this world has been talking about mental well-being, work-life balance, and so on and so on, right? I mean, work, because most of us now are still working from homes and so on. Okay. And then the trap of overthinking comes across and so on. So overthinking, I would probably put it across in three phases. There are three different phases of overthinking. One phase is it's a generic overthinking, right? I mean, for example, I'll give you a classic example. When I was preparing for this particular session, I was going through the topic which was given. First of all, I thought, and I probably related that particular topic to what exactly my prior experience has been. I mean, I come with a 21 years of experience and so on. And overthinking as a thought process is imbibed in everybody in today's world. Be it a student, be it a mid-career professional, be it a leader, or be it an entrepreneur or a startup owner or anyone. It is there. Okay. But when we say there are three aspects, one is a very generic way of overthinking. As I said, when the topics were given to me, I started preparing about the same in thinking and putting my think tank in this aspect of how do I relate it, and that's why I asked you that who's going to be a targeted audience.
Right.
So I could have given you a holistic approach on overthinking, but when we said that our targeted audience is A, B, C, I restricted my thought process towards an A, B, C rather than going to X, Y, Z. That's what one aspect of overthinking is. Okay.
Right.
And in the same process, I have a habit of jotting it down, right? I mean, okay, this is the topic, this is what my research is, this is what it is. And then I researched it. Again, I put in one more topic. I researched it twice. I again researched it thrice. Okay. Now I got 1, 2, 3 aspects on the same topic which you have given to me. Okay. From a student perspective, from an HR perspective, okay, to the audience who's listening to us, that's what our targeted audience is going to be. Okay.
Right.
And so on. But when I was going through that, again, I restricted that, saying this, I'm going to be doing my research only till 15 minutes or 20 minutes.
Right.
Okay. So I kept it concised. Post that, whatever research it comes across, I'm not going to be exploring more about it. That's what is more relevant. Okay. Right. So that is generic. I would probably say preliminarily. And now the advanced. The third advanced aspect of overthinking would come across in such a way. You just keep thinking about it. I'll give you a very classic example. So we as a company have trained more than 75,000 plus students, working professionals, graduating students, mid-career professionals, and so on. So we deal with a lot of colleges. All right. We were doing a integrated training program for a company. All right. So we created a content. We were presenting to the company, okay, to a bank as well as the college together. Right. I sat all the night. We sat all the day. We created the curriculum, everything. Okay. But still, I had this doubt in my mind saying this, will it be accepted? Is this what the student would require? Is this what the bank whom we are creating this program for would be accepted? I worked all the night again and reworked on that. Okay. Probably one of the advanced aspect of overthinking. But the realization happened in the next aspect of in the next morning. I went ahead with the first thought process, which was a cumulative efforts of me and my team, and presented that and accepted by the students and by the client, or probably by the bank. Okay, so that's one advanced aspect or a way of overthinking. Okay, how do you put a period towards it? How do you put a full stop towards it? First of all, be an overthinker, but You need to understand where to draw that boundaries, where to
Hmm.
compartmentalize the same aspect
True.
of overthinking. I hope I answered that in the way you were expecting.
Yes, yes, Mr. Atish, that was so profoundly put into such a step-by-step, understanding it. Like you put it in a the way I do it, my coaching, the same thing that you have talked about, that you funneled the entire thought process first. Let's have a funnel. Let's have a generic idea of what it is. Let's target it to certain kind of orientation. So we target our thoughts into orientation. So already have an anchor thought. Okay, so this is how thought ladders also work. So usually we spot on to an anchor thought, then what are the thoughts that are coming into your mind. But usually when an anxiety hits, it is always a laddering process from where we actually push ourselves from asking our questions like, what if this mess is up, like what if this is messed up. Okay, this is where the anxiety, or this is where the overthinking trap happens, because overthinking is required definitely, but we are actually overdoing it after a certain point of time. And as you said very wonderfully, that we have to schedule a time for that. We can't have an overthinking as the entire calendrical activity for that entire day. You said like 15 minutes I will think. You had a very clear cut idea that only 15 minutes I would think and I will jot down all points. So putting it on paper gives you more clarity. So that was one thing that I have seen. So you have noticed how it climbs into a fear base. What if that is what we do, if this is what I want to address to all the HR or the people who are facing with anxiety, this is where the second step come in. First is understanding the anchor thought. Second is notice how it climbs into a fear base, or what if like what if this won't fail, what if this doesn't work. Like you talked about the curriculum with the banking sector, and you talked about the society, the colleges. This is where you also have that kind of a mind frame. Okay, this is where it comes in. Then you ask yourself, is this problem real? Are we dealing with a real problem or something that I have mentally stimulated? Sometimes, most of the time, what happens, we usually mentally stimulate certain problems which are not there. Right. So this is where the overthinking actually spiral down into the darker phase where we are not productive enough. So how we are breaking the loop is, I don't need full certainty to take the next step. So I have seen that, Atish, you have already made it a point that I will prototype it. Okay, I will prototype it, and if it fails, I will readjust it. Because what happens, our mind are certainly designed in such a way that they require 100% assurity that this would work. The overthinkers people, the people who are overthinkers are already into that particular loop, that this has to be perfect, this has to be perfect. But sometimes doing a prototype as soon as possible and failing into it, there is a very good book, you fail as much as more time as you can, so that you can build up a perfect, not a perfect, but the more functional version. So I would say a very beautifully placed. Funnel your thoughts, make it target oriented, schedule a time, make a prototype, and deliver it. Grounded. Be very much reasonable about those particular thoughts. So I'm really thankful that that particular example was pulled into this battle room. All right. Okay. Am I audible till now?
Yeah, Abhijit sir,
Okay.
you were breaking, but now you're back.
Okay. I think there was some power glitch. All right. Okay. So I hope I was able to make that particular point clear about what discussion that was there to the audience. Anchor your thought, funnel your thought, target orientation, schedule a time, make a prototype, fail as much as you can, and then you can break the overthinking trap that can be actually dismantled. That can be a breakthrough for you guys. So that was one thing. So I would like to thank Atish on giving a powerful insight, and everybody who's watching right now, and where your thought ladders are. You just have to understand where my thought ladder is. Am I climbing into the fear based what ifs, or am I calculating it and making a timely, actionable part into that? And what is one step that you can do tonight if you are someone who is overthinking and who is habituated to overthink and not taking actions? Now you have to take those actions right now. Think it for a time and then take an action. So great. This was a wrap for this particular first section, and we'll be going to the second section where I would like to ask a question to Dr. Ishwarya. So, what is an identity loop and professional pressure? And we already tie those particular titles to self-worth, often tied too tightly to the role, like a manager, parent, leaders. and how this particular, tying up plays with your mental mindset, and why we get into this identity loop and professional pressure. So this is a question to you, or
Yes,
all over to you,
thanks much.
Dr. Ishwarya.
Yes, thanks much, Abhijit, for taking this wonderful topic. And that was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
the topic what you have asked, the question what you have asked is, as you said, the manager, parent, and all these things, nobody has given to us. At that positions has been taken by us. So we are responsible
Mm-hmm.
for that. So the first thing is what
Very
we
true.
are thinking. We have taken all the roles and responsibilities and thinking that, I have all those pressures. What can I do now? So I'll take myself
Right.
as an example. After 10 years, I have started my career. I was in my parenting phase for the past 10 years. And I suddenly I took my career. So it took me, I was a trainer, I was a parent, and I have to be in a learning place and I have to learn many things. And I was doing my classical, I am running my classical academy. But what the thing is, I'm not feeling
Mm-hmm.
that I was literally pressured. These roles and
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities have been taken by me. First, we have to prioritize the things. We have to put a circle, that is us, and we have to put an outer circle. What are the roles I am playing here? As a parent, or as a manager, or as a trainer, or as a coach, or as a friend, whatever it may be. So, what portion of time I am going to allocate? As a parent, how much I am going to be, how much I am going to allocate my time. As a trainer, how much I am going to allocate my. We have to prioritize the task initially instead of putting all those things in a one loop and confusing what I am going to do, how I will be performing all these things. Let me prioritize my task. What I am going to be in the first in a day start. What I'm going, whether I'm going to be a good parent, or else whether I'm going to be a coach, or else I'm going to be a trainer. I have to prioritize my task. And second thing is, whatever the task may be, we don't want to be a perfectionist in that perfectionist. We'll be what to say, we'll be expecting more perfection in all the. If I'm a parent, my son and daughter should be good in their studies, they should be good in their curriculum and everything they should be said. If they are not good, I'm not a good parent. My dance students should dance in a very well manner. If they are not doing, I'm not a good dancer. Because of others' activities, we are making us as a perfection, and we are judging us. No, we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be more
True.
perfectionist. Take a baby step. Take a baby step. Small improvements. Small improvements. If your kid is getting
Mm-hmm.
50 marks, in next test is getting 60 marks, then it is good. Not taking 100 only. No, if he is not taking a good
Mm-hmm.
marks, if he is not good in their studies, and I'm blaming myself. I'm not a good parent. I've been focused in all those things. I'm not a good parent. We are just
Mm-hmm.
feeling guilt and blaming ourselves. See, the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is having only
Right.
24 hours. Myself was also
Mm-hmm.
having 24 hours. So I'm going to prioritize my
Mm-hmm.
24 hours and how I am going to segregate all those things in a day. Right? The second thing is, I don't want to be a
Mm-hmm.
perfectionist in all those things. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to give my best. The third thing is,
True.
people will expect some identity from outside, that everybody should praise
Mm-hmm.
us. Everybody should
Mm-hmm.
praise. Yeah, you're a good trainer,
Right.
you're a good classical dancer, you're a good parent. No, no. We don't want to get appreciations from others. We are seeking appreciations from others. If I'm a manager,
Mm-hmm.
my immediate boss should support me, and my immediate boss should say
Mm-hmm.
something about me. And I'll be literally, I'll be looking down. If someone is telling something about me, what I'll be doing? So I have to do my work correctly. I have to
Mm-hmm.
do my things correctly. I have to project my things correctly. No, you be your
True.
own boss. You are the self motivator
Mm-hmm.
for yourself. You are the self motivator.
Mm-hmm.
None of them going to see. Everybody is having various set of thoughts. Everybody is having various set of things to say. But we people are expecting many
True.
things from outsiders. They have to appreciate. They have to give motivation words. If something is not working good, if something is not doing it, we are seeking help from others. Instead of getting help from others, instead of getting things from others, you keep yourself motivated. Arey yaar, if this day is not working good, let them try for another day. Let them reschedule my things. See, if at all I'm going to take my position, if at all I'm going to be a trainer, or else, see, as I said, after a sudden phase in my career, after 10 years, I was Amma, only Amma for the past 10 years. I doesn't know, I was not at all
Mm-hmm.
working. for the past 1 year, I worked as professor, but even though I was lagging somewhere, so I took a SWOT analysis for myself and I took my psychometric assessment tool, where I was good, where my career is. And the thing is, first we have to write down in a paper the thoughts and roles, what I'm going to take, and what are the things I'm going to get because of this role. If you are, so I have to read that paper daily. If my thoughts are in the same process as sir said, if my thoughts are in the same process, even for the 1 week, my thoughts are not changing, then it is good for me. For 1 day, I can be, I want to be a trainer. For the immediate second day, my thoughts would have changed. Why can't I? If I'm in a trainer, I couldn't move out from immediately. So why can't I go for a job, regular job, 24 hours job? So I have to write everything in the paper, what are the roles and responsibilities. Before taking in the roles and responsibilities, I have to note it down the roles and responsibilities, what I'm going to take, what I'm going to play there. Only then we'll come to know what I want to do. See, putting everything in our mind and putting everything in our thoughts, and as sir said, putting everything in overthinking, no, it won't work. Everything has to be written. Everything has to be written. See, then the subconscious mind will hit that.
Right.
What role I'm going to play, where I'm going to play, what I'm going to play, this, what, where, and which, and how. This plays a vital role in our things. And none of the outsiders are giving pressure. We are taking all this pressure. Anybody can say anything, but I'm the only person who said yes for all these things. Did anybody come and told to me, you want to be a good parent, you want to be a good manager? No. If somebody is telling also, I said yes for that opinion. So I am solely responsible for the things. So let me first prioritize my task and allocate the time according to the prioritization. Yes, I think I have been answered to your question, right, Abhijit?
Yeah. Yeah, it was so much of clarity that was there, Ishwarya. Thank you so much for that answer. And Ishwarya has put in very good analogy of points over here, and that really directs towards one tool that I want to give to my listener. It is called as a role reflection map. Now, when I talk about role reflection map, it is just like you have to just draw a grid of three by three metrics, or you have to just draw 3 columns, and you have to start putting in questions on first one, like, who expect this of me? Now, if I am a manager, definitely my team is expecting. If I am a parent, definitely my family, society, inner critic expect me to, perform that role. So once you have an who is expecting this from you, you will have a clear idea of the audience who you are serving. Okay. Then you have to see like what fear makes me over-identify with this role. Now, I'm utilizing a word over-identify. Okay, because this is where if you do like overthinking, definitely that is going to be a problem. If you over identify yourself with the role and you are not able to switch off that particular role or switch between the roles, your nervous system stay in a constant alert mode, and that is not living. You are actually auditing yourself, and auditing is the creator of stress. So this is where you have to ask yourself, what is it, a fear that is making me to over-identify with this particular role? A fear of being, like, if you're a manager, if you like, fear of being seen as an incompetent or a weak person, okay, as a manager. Okay, so that is what you have to, you can identify yourself. As a parent, fear of failing my children's or repeating my upbringing. That is a very pure and very direct fear that we have as a parent, where we over-identify ourselves, or any fear that is based. But if I do a certain things, the third question that would be there, like, what would change if I loosen up my grip? That is also one thing that you have to do with compassion, not with critics. So for a manager, if it is there that if he fears that people would see me incompetent, it's okay that if I delegate more, ask for support, and feel less guilty about the boundaries. That kind of person can do. What I can loosen grip on. I'm not saying don't lose the entire grip, but what I can do? I can delegate, definitely. I can ask for support in crisis, definitely. That would lose certain grip, and that would make me lesser dependent on my identity of being competent enough. I am competent, but I would require support. I would require some delegation. I can't stretch myself to each and every activity as a manager, as an entrepreneur, as a parent. I would have certain boundaries. So boundaries are really important. So these are the 3 questions that you can apply. First is who expect this of me, this role. That would give you an audience. Then what fear makes me over identify with this role? Which is the fear? because over identifying is just compensating with the fear that is there. Your role is overcompensating for the fear that is there. Otherwise you are doing your role optimally. That is one thing. And what would change if I loosen my grip on certain activities, certain expectation of the audience to whom I'm serving? That can create a kind of an ease. Okay, so that is where you have to start, living rather than auditing yourself. So that is one thing. So you have to make sure that you are not a LinkedIn title or your relationship label. Okay, reconnect with you under the customs. Don't be someone who is just stretching itself in all directions. So I hope the audience are able to understand what are the three questions that you have to ask yourself. This grid can actually help you out in breaking and diluting a bit of over identifying yourself with the rule that is there. So great, brilliant clarity, Dr. Ishwarya. Thank you for stripping down the entire myth. Your narration helped me to build this particular tool. Okay, so that was really helpful. So to the
Thank you.
audience, where you are like thinking that, yeah, where you're thinking that this is what I'm trapped somewhere. This kind of a model can help you. This is a thinking model that you can apply.
Yes,
This is a
yes,
reflection part.
yes, Abhijit, because
Great.
many of them
All
are
right.
taking some certain risk sometime in our life. That might be switching the
Right.
roles or switching the responsibilities or taking some sudden plan in our career. So, what are the reflections we are going to get because of the changes? We have to be very clear in that.
True.
After jumping into
Right.
that roles and responsibilities, we can't sit, as you said, what reflection I'm going to get after jumping in. I should not think
Right.
about the reflections what I'm
Mm,
going to get.
mm,
So we should ready to face
mm,
all those things. Instead of taking that as pressure,
mm.
you can take it as a challenges. You have to embrace all
Very,
those challenges.
very true.
And we have to fix our mindset.
Mm,
See, before I was only Amma, but I'm going to
mm,
play multiple roles now. So I have to work more fast, more
mm,
smart, little bit fast. So I have to embrace
mm,
all those
mm.
challenges. I think it works
Right,
like this.
right,
Instead of putting as pressure, I saw that as challenges and opportunities we can embrace
right,
ourselves.
right, right.
Yes,
Great, great. So, Aishwarya, thank you so much for giving the clarity, because the clarity itself is important, because reflection questions actually give you clarity of the image that you associate yourself with. If you don't have the clarity, you would always have a distorted association with the role, and that would make you stretch in different direction. So these questions can be there. There would be more questions people can address to. There are also self questions that person can address to. So there are a lot of many techniques, but one of the technique that is a self role reflection map, that what we talked about earlier, that is something that our audience can utilize. Now we have talked about the brain, the overthinking, the arena of brain. Now we are going to move to the body. Okay, because there is a saying that if you're not able to solve your mental issues, you have to go to your body, because whatever is not solved by your mind can be solved by your body. Why? Because there is a okay. Okay, am I back again? All right.
yes, yes.
I think there is some power glitch. Okay.
We have
So
network
with this
challenges.
particular understanding that our, yeah, network challenges, no issues, but then also we are going to take it in a right direction. Okay.
Yes, of course.
All right. So yeah, so our body and mind are so glued up and so connected that whatever your body does, it has some reflection on your mind, and what your mind does have reflection and behavioral patterns in your body. So now, coming to the question, to the third section that is there, and we have Nisha with us, who is going to talk about the stuck energy and emotional freeze. So, Nisha, I want to talk about this is like suppress emotion, clock decision flow. So, do you agree with this particular sentence?
I agree with it to 120%. The thing is, like,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
I,
Great.
I, yeah, I agree. Like, I was just very closely listening to Mr. Atish and Dr. Aishwarya sharing their experiences related to what they have undergone. Like if we come to Atish's experience, it was more to do with overthinking about what others could think about the work and his presentation and things like that, and due to which he was under pressure to make everybody comfortable. And similarly, Aishwarya was
Right.
in a role loop where she wanted to be the best in every role she was essaying. So my
Right.
topic, the question you have put it across to me is about the mind clogging, or more to do with suppressed emotions. Will it
Suppress
lead to
emotions and clogging decision flow.
will
Yeah.
it have any impact on,
Decision
yeah,
flow.
will it have any impact in decision
Mm.
making? Definitely. See, I
Mm.
would like to introduce myself as a person. If I were to introduce myself
Yeah.
some 10 years, 10 years ago, I would introduce myself as an active,
Mm.
self-motivated, driven, and forward-looking person. If I am
Mm-hmm.
to introduce myself today, I would introduce myself as an active, self-motivated, driven, and forward-thinking person. So between then and now, I have undergone a certain experience in my life, which gave me
Mm.
some difference in these two, identifying myself in these two ways. I will first speak about that and then let you know, give you more clarity on this. So what happened is some few years
Sure.
back, um, like I developed some sort of physical issues. Physical issues, like over a period of time,
Mm.
it started building in me. Like I had difficulty going outside in the sun, and I had some toothache and very negligible discomfort in my body, which doctors could identify as somewhere a dental issue or somewhere a low BP or things like that. But being a science student, I was not willing to accept any of their research. So, in my own way, after a prolonged period when it was not getting cured, so I thought of getting an X-ray done for my nerves. So that is when I realized that
Mm.
there is a nerve twist in my brain which has to be surgically removed or extracted. So during the surgery, which took over 8 hours or 10 hours, uh, my like the trigeminal nerve was affected during the surgery, post which I had this paralysis on my face. So this happened, and like I was completely shut within the four walls of my room, um, not because of
Mm.
anybody else, just because of my own self. Like I started thinking, how would I go
Right.
out? What will what how people
Mm.
going to see me? Like I was into education field, and I was
Mm.
considerably a popular teacher, and quite I had made a place for myself in my profession. So how are they going to
Right.
accept me? These were the thoughts which were repeatedly coming in my mind. So I took a break. I resigned my job and I took a break. And this
Mm-hmm.
break of 1 year, almost 6 months, prolonged to 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
where I didn't do anything else other than binge watching Netflix and things like that. This is the first career break I have
Right.
taken in since
Mm.
my education and my business. And I was not able to come out of it. I was like into some sort of
Mm.
addiction, or
Right.
in some sort of weird mental state. Um, I have a very supportive family. Even then, I could not come out of it, bounce out of it. So, see, I was initiated into meditation and processes related to body and mind even before all this happened to me. But none of these things did anything to move me away from this. But one fine day, I don't know what happened. I just started questioning me, like, what am I doing? Well, since a year,
Right.
I'm inside this room on my bed and just eating and watching, eating and watching. I'm not doing anything. And what am I going to do? And how many more years am I going to do this? Is this what I want to do? I have
Right.
only two options. Either I continue living like
Mm-hmm.
this, or I step out of my coziness. So then I
Mm-hmm.
decided to for the second option, and I started, like I should have said, I started taking baby steps. I started going back to my uh, practices of meditation, which really, couldn't bring me out of, like, I couldn't keep my eyes closed for even 5 minutes. So many thoughts and so much of disturbance. I used to open my eyes. So very slowly, I started getting back the practice, and then eventually I started building my career. And this time, I did not want to go back to where I left. I wanted to do something new for me.
Mm.
So I entered into the
Right.
teachers, instead of students. I went into back to the teaching community. Then I started my training. Then I started my own setup. Like whatever I wanted to do, I gave me a new energy and new what to say. I became more bold. I was not hesitant to
Mm.
take any
Mm.
decisions, because either I fail or I
Wow.
win. There is nothing in between, right? So I
Wow.
just go
Mm.
head on with everything that comes to my in my this arena. So yeah, when you this many things, like not only my meditation, even my family, I really appreciate
Mm.
the support, constant support. One thing is, during this phase, am I taking over time? Am I stepping out of my time zone? Abhijit, 2 minutes more. I just want to wind up this thing. Uh, the thing is, when this happened with me, it everything had changed. Like the traditional
Mm.
methods of interaction had changed to technology. Evolution of technology happened. AI
Mm.
came into existence, and I'm of Gen. I'm not of Gen Z or Gen Alpha or anything. I'm a millennial. So for me to cope up with all these things, and then work along with the Gen Alpha, not even the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta. So it is like quite challenging, and I love challenges. Yes, I'm here now. This is what I wanted to say. Did I answer
Wow.
your question of getting into the mental loop and thereby clogging of me? It did shape my decision making power for almost a year.
Mm. Mm.
The mental clogging
Right.
just held back my
Mm.
precious 1 year. I could have done wonders had I realized it.
Right.
But yes,
I think I was feeling each and every word what you were saying, and I can actually feel the pain, the struggle, the overcoming of the struggle, and I can see that the triumph that was there. I can already see how strong-spirited woman you are, or a person you are, I would say. Why? Because I have to be really thankful for sharing your story about your struggle. First of all, it really
thank
requires
you.
a gut in order to present yourself in the way you are, no matter what adversity you are facing, what kind of challenges you have faced, but then also showing up. I mean, being visible. I have seen a lot of coaching in my 7 years, and prior to that 15 years into HR, I have seen a lot many people who have gone through this particular journey, but they have muted themselves. They have not yet stepped out of the binge watching, the Netflix comfort zone. They're not out of that till now, and some of us still, with all capabilities of physical fitness and all mental fitness, then also we choose our comfort zones,
I
but
owe it
it
to my
takes
physician,
guts to
Abhijit.
address. Yeah.
Yeah, that guts could
Yeah,
have
but
come
that's
because
also
I am an
realizing that.
educator. Yeah,
Mm,
that guts could have come
right.
through being an educator, because I have my
Mm,
students to answer to.
mm,
Like I have been a role model for
mm,
them, shutting myself inside so that
right.
tomorrow anybody could go through the same
Mm,
pain, or already they are. So
true.
and I had many
True.
chances to do plastic surgery or things like that to make
Mm,
myself look better than what I am
right.
today. But I didn't go for it, because I
Right.
have come across students
Right.
who are more physically challenged. To them, I am like a support.
Right.
They look, they're very
Right.
comfortable. So why not? No, if I can bring some change in there and people around me. I really love the way I look now.
Right, right. So, such a
Yes,
profound way of looking towards your own issues. I know because whenever we look at ourselves, we always do like it is called as discounting the positive. Okay, that is a thinking error that we do. We always, whatever is positive, we always shut it down. We say that, okay, this is not positive. I would leave it. Okay, that is not the thing. So, that is a mentality. That is a cognitive error that all of the people that do whenever there is an energy blockage, because we are so much trapped into the depression cycle and whatever has happened with us. And this is where we discount whatever is positive in our life. As you rightly said, that the strength has come from the field that I was in. I had a family who has supported me. Now this is the counting, and this is a self-awareness that you have about yourself. This is the self-awareness in play that you have talked about. So whenever you are in this kind of situation, and I totally feel it, because it's a very grave kind of a situation, Nisha, that you have gone through and you have come out of it. Very few of us has the courage to actually address it and then also be visible, as I was talking earlier. Because even me looking at myself in my camera, I would also have some nooks here. My nose is not right. My hairs are like my thinning hairline, receding hairline is there. So there are a lot many things that we trivial things that we do. And as you said earlier, that you have started looking at people who are far more greater physically challenged than yourself. So it is like we do it a audit which is a reverse one. So we see it like whatever are the strengths and what are not the strengths. So this is where we are breaking that particular cycles. Okay, this is like a coaching kind of a session, that this was my area, this is what I have done. I've done a lot of meditation is what is the self reflection, being self aware. That is what you have done. So if anybody who is like in the area of wherever the energy block is there, and you are not able to get in the flow, and it is the biggest decision blocker that is there. Okay, so we always see that calmness isn't always a clarity. We see like, okay, this person is a calm, this is not the clarity. These people are frozen. Okay, the calmness is not the clarity, the action is the clarity. If you take any action, as you said, that I trained myself, I got into that particular field, I exposed myself, that give you a confident. And then auditing yourself. Okay, then taking audit of yourself, doing a, like in meditation we do a body scan. We tend to have a sense of where the feeling is, where this tension is. Okay, what are the emotion that I have ignored today? That is the emotional audit that we do. That okay, if I feel ashamed about myself, then why it is that I'm feeling it. Okay, and if it is the shame that is coming in, then there are a lot many people who can be shamed about that body, but then also they are performing. We have Paralympics people are getting triumph into that. We have people with
Yeah, I
disabilities,
want
those
to add
people are
one thing.
triumphing. Right,
Yes, of course.
right.
I
So
want to add
now
one
when you're
real-time
meditating,
example.
yeah, sure,
Yes,
sure.
I want to add, sorry for the interruption. I want to add one real-time
Yeah.
example. Please took myself as an example. Before 2 years, I met with the biggest accident, the biggest accident. I got fully scratches in my face. The immediate next 2 days, my students are having international Silamam match, but students are telling and my coach is telling, without you, we won't go. But that was the first international match for my students. I took a bold decision. I started my journey moving on to Kanyakumari from Chennai. No, people are staring at me while I was traveling in train. Everybody was looking how we are having this much of pain, bloods and clots, everything. But it's all because of my students. As a coach, as a tutor, as a trainer, I should not sit up because of my pain. My students are sitting. That was their biggest dream of getting international awards. And day by day, it used to me that scratches and the marks that was in my face. And I was thinking, how they physically challenged people will handle these things. When day by day it goes on, it becomes used to it. I used to it, and I enjoyed all those things, that scars and marks, everything. But initially, it took me a little bit difficult to see my face. It was totally scrambled. My face was totally scratched. Initially, I took little bit difficult to see my face. But my students now, while getting their championship and while they're getting their the certificates, medals, every pains have gone, every pain have gone. So when we embrace our things, when we embrace our own challenges, definitely we can see the real inner happiness. When the character is good, when our thoughts are good, really everybody will be projected in a good way, in a pleasant way.
I think the
Right.
respect
So
for
it's
every
a very
Yes,
beautiful
I
field
one.
would.
is
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, Atish. Yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead,
So
Atish.
first of all, Nisha ma'am, thank you so much. It needs definite guts to share your real-time stories on a public forum. So really appreciate that. I would also like to highlight one very, very, very important aspect. Okay, we were talking about being physically challenged. Okay, but let's understand one very important aspect. Um, a student who's from a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 city of India, okay, who can't speak English properly, who's come from a different vernacular academics, okay, he may not be physically challenged, but he's mentally challenged.
true.
Somebody who has reached a ladder in a working profession, even in the HR fraternity, somebody who's an HR executive or a senior HR manager, he or she has a limitation of thought process and he or she wants to grow, but then there is also
True.
a, would not say physical challenge there, but a mental block is there.
Yes.
Somebody who is at the CXO level, who's actually a vice president or an assistant vice president, but he wants to become an MD and a GM, but there is also a mental block is there, a physical challenge, or probably not a
True.
physical challenge, but a mental
True.
challenge there. Mental block
But
is
I
there.
would say,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, Abhijit, just one input I would want to give.
Yeah.
See, before
Go ahead.
beginning to love our profession, love anything, first we should be ready to love ourselves, our body. See, my body could have given up. I could have gone on a brain dead state, but my body supported me. It stood with me, right? So I have. Is it not my obligation to respect back that body which has stood with me through the tough time? So when I realize I'm grateful for that, then the gratitude starts from there. And when, as you rightly said, Atish, that there could be vernacular issues with students. There could be many issues. I also felt the same thing when I went into the training field of nearly 250 teachers to 300, a huge group. When I'm addressing them, my initial hesitance was how are they going to look at me, because I can't see my face, others can see. How are they going to? But you won't believe, within 10 minutes onto the training, they have just accepted me the way I am. The end of the day, we were not thinking about how we physically looked, either of us. Okay, it was all about the content we were discussing. So I think if you have it in you, you can go to any heights. Physical, only that mental strength is more important than physical strength. That's what I believe in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Great. So I think this has really, I think the synergy that you guys have in terms of bringing out the techniques that I was talking about earlier, that really matches up with what we have said right away. So I was talking about how we can do a body check-in or energy audit that is there. So the first two step is like, as Nisha ma'am already have said that yes, we have to get into meditative state, because understand, whenever you're overthinking, when you're into depression, your mind is running at the speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Okay, and if you are going to sit directly into meditation, that is not going to work, first of all, because if you have achieved 100 kilometers per hour of thought race that is there, you have to gradually get it down. So how you can
Yes.
do it? You can do it with your breath exercises. Okay, some cathartic exercises or somatic exercises that are there. So if you are into that particular depression, or if you are someone who is facing such kind of adversity, I would suggest that work with your body first towards your mind. Don't work with your mind with the mind. Don't have another thought that is actually targeting the negative thought. That is a problematic situation, because your mind is very good at a chess game. If you put a certain pawn in front of him, he will bring a certain other powerful pawn in front of him. So that chess match would go on for eternity, as long as you're alive, and the overthink would happen. So when you're doing this, do a psychosomatic kind of exercise. Control your breath as you come into that particular part. So from 100 to bring it to 80 to 70, and this would happen on, not in first session. It would happen in your 10th or 15th or 20th session. So over here, it is always said that the enlightenment doesn't come through, knowing the things. Enlightenment comes from practicing things.
Yes.
So if you practice it more, the enlightenment would, small effort, by a trickling like a droplet, it would come and get collected. Same thing happens with consciousness. Okay. And what is the problem when we sit into this particular energy audit is that, first of all, we try to understand which area of our body is feeling tense. Usually shame and all those things, you would feel it can be in your thorax region, or wherever you're, where you want to say something, or your chest region, or your stomach region. So now this is where you have to relax that particular part. Okay. You have to talk to that particular part of your body. Now this is something looks like a hoo-hoo kind of a science, but there is a Harvard study that says that if you do 15 minutes of meditation and self-reflection every day, you can actually cure certain kind of hypertension, certain kind of cardiovascular diseases that you're facing. That can be really trickled down to controllable numbers if you're doing it regularly. The second thing that you have to talk to yourself is, what emotion have I ignored today? Now, when you talk about emotions, we are very low on emotion vocabulary. We only know anger, we only know, pain, we only know sad. But there are a lot of, different facets of emotions. We have to really, you know, uh, try to name them. Why? Because why it is so? Because if you can name it, you can tame it. So if you are naming a feeling, then only you can tame it. Otherwise, the feeling is just one kind of a wave which you are surfing and which is not going to go anywhere. Okay. So that is the second thing. Once you start addressing that, okay, today I feel shameful to face these people because of this particular reason. I feel shame. That is the feeling. Now, what you have to do is, you don't have to solve it. Don't solve that feeling. Because in meditation, we try to solve something. We don't solve it. Just express it. We need to express, not to solve. That's supposed to be the agenda of the meditation. All of our effort is to solving it. The entire agenda of the meditation is expressing it, right? So once you take 3 deep breaths, after that, name one safe action that you can do to release your energy. It can be walking, it can be venting out, it can be writing, it can be expression of any body type that you can do. So first, feel where the tension is. Second, what emotion you have ignored today, name it. And the third is, don't try to solve it, try to express it, and express it in a safe action, not by hitting somebody. Or you can hit on the punching pillow, that is fine. That is a catharsism that you can bring out. Or you can dance for a while, you can sweat yourself, you can go to the gym, that is also fine. Or else you can walk, or you can vent it out on a piece of paper. As already like Atish, Dr. Ishwarya, Nisha, everybody has said that you have to write, and I'm also advocating write it. Because it is said that paper is far more humble than people. Okay. So paper are far more
Amazing,
humble than people.
amazing.
People won't listen to you. Yeah. Paper would always listen to you. Okay. So that is what you have to do. So make that particular part very much, a kind of a ritual that you do every, like that. The way you have a skin routine in the evening, sit with yourself, have a emotional audit, and this can cure a lot many things that are piling up in your inside as a pressure cooker. Because I always feel that all the ailments that we are facing in this modern era is not expressing emotion in a healthy way.
Very true.
We're trying to solve it by giving diversions, by getting indulgent to intoxication, overwatching Netflix, overeating, okay, and ignoring it and suppressing it as much as possible, or ignoring it, and that is not the solution. Expressing it is the only solution, and it is safe area. Okay. So that was the complete wrap of of the section 3, what Nisha has told about. And I was so happy that Atish and Ishwarya jumped into that particular conversation. They have given their own insight and made it so comprehensive in terms of, it has to have that all dimensions. I feel that every issue has to have a different facets. And Atish had talked about, yes, we are mentally crippled in certain areas. We are physically crippled, and both of them are talking with each other. Your mental crippling is actually affecting your physical ability. Your physical crippility is also affecting your mental ability. So sometimes you have to understand which is the weaker and you have to work on that. Okay. Yeah, physical element would have already a mental effect. So work on mental effects, and your physical ailment would start, being with you. It will start supporting you. As Nisha have told rightly that she didn't even had a concern that how I look. She went and she performed. And actually, that was an enlightening moment. I think that was a light bulb moment for everyone, that you don't concentrate on your physical issue, just perform it. Just accept yourself. That is what you do. The self love that you talked about. And I think that was so much profound, Nisha. Thank you so much for
Thank
putting
you.
those particular elements together. And Atish
I
and Ishwarya, putting your cherry on the cake was also one of the things that really enlightened everybody around us. So I think we have
and
wrapped
Abhijit,
all three sections. And
your
yeah,
inferences from each of our talk. No, it is quite amazing. I was just looking forward what you're going to tell after I finish my talk. What are the inferences you would come out with? Amazing. Within no
okay,
time, simultaneously, no, you are listening at the same time. You are also trying to, sketch um, a structured solution for
I'm
people out hearing is out there. It's really commendable.
I'm
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you. It was
glad. I'm so glad and honored and humbled. I am feeling so useful right now for all the people that is there, because I am appreciate you are appreciating my effort, and that's the main thing. Because this is what we are trying to do on this particular coaching pod that I've called it. Like, it is like a coaching pod, a small bit in sizes which we can deliver to people, because I think we are thirsty of techniques. We have sea of knowledge, sea of concepts, sea of terminologies, but we are really, we are really parched in terms of the techniques that you can utilize. And I think with your story, with Atish's insight, and with Aishwarya's way of storytelling about her own experience, would give our audience a different mind frame in which they can actually start experimenting. And I would always say that this is not going to work in one night. It is going to be an incremental kind of a progress. It can be 0.1%, but yes, the moment, if it is it is moving at the pace of an hour hand, do it. Not
and
any progress that
earlier,
is there is a progress.
yeah,
Don't look for perception.
and true.
Hmm.
And you had once earlier said in one of your talks that
Hmm.
such things are to be done on a daily basis. It doesn't stop. No, it is
Right,
day in and day out. You keep
right.
practicing. The day you
Day in and
stop,
day out. We,
you are again, yeah, going back
go
to
on.
working.
It is just like walking on a rope. It is like a rope walk, the sky walk that we do. So every day you have to balance out whatever knowledge that you have, because every day is a unique situation. Every day is a unique challenge. Every day you are new. You are thinking certain different things, certain feelings, certain memory would be the overpowering memory or the agenda of that particular day, right? So I think every day we have to walk up with that particular conscious pick that we were talking about. I think in our last meeting that we had before this call, we were talking about that particular, what is the counterbalancing weight that is there? It is the consciousness, because you would be put into a lot of uncertainty that would be there. The counterbalancing weight would be only we can balance through the mindfulness that we can do, but it would happen through practice. And yes, during your practice you want to feel miserably, because this is the first time you're walking the rope. So you would fall, you would tremble, you won't make a progress, but be very humble and patient with yourself. So that was my entire wrap of the session. And I'm like, if we have audience who want to ask any questions, we can take it for next 5 minutes, and then we can wrap up this session. So I'm really seeing through that, which, if you are getting any questions, definitely this is the right time to ask the questions. If any of the audience are there who want to ask the questions, definitely you can go ahead and ask it. Oh, we have 4 people who are watching us now. Just a sec. We'll wait for 10 seconds. Let's see if anybody want to ask a question. All All right. I think there are none of the questions from our audience. So any last, I think if you guys are able to give me one sentence which you want to wrap up your and give a kind of a message to our audience, this is the time. I will give you 30 seconds of time. We can start with Nisha, and then we can go to Atish as we have like a reverse order. So Nisha, any last statement that you have to do, any kind of golden nuggets that you want to give to our audience?
Yeah, believe in self-love. That's my mantra. Believe in self-love. If you can love yourself,
Okay.
then you will definitely be able to love others. And if you cannot love yourself, others will also. Don't expect others to love you, isn't it? You yourself cannot love yourself, then how can you expect others to love you? So be self-contained, like self-assured, and self-confident. All these things are very, very important. Begin your journey with self-love. That is my only mantra.
Wow, short and crisp and to the point. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Ishwarya.
So from my side, is don't be too perfectionist. Don't trust the results. Trust your
Mm.
process. Let it be the baby steps. As you said, you're going to walk on the rope.
Mhm.
Don't ever see the results and don't ever get threatened. Take your baby steps and move on slowly. Automatically, you will attain your results. And when you have a strong desire, this universe will connect you to the right mindset of people, and automatically you'll get your results. The thing is, you should be very strong in your desire. Keep your desire strong. The universe will definitely help you in a right way, in such a way that you will nourish your things.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ishwarya. That was really insightful. Yes, to the man of the show. Yes, Atish, sir.
All right. So, I've always been a very aggressive individual throughout my 21 years, 2.5, 2 years of 2+ years, decades of experience. But this has changed. Age, as you age, as you move to the next ladder, you change. But I would still put it across. First, very important thing is, guys, please be very humble. Be very humble in your life. Second,
True.
be disciplined. There is absolutely no medicine than being disciplined. Whatever we have been talking, if you're not disciplined,
Right.
you will not understand anything. You will not reach anything. Okay.
True.
If you want to do something in your life, then do something. Or else you will also
Right.
you live a mediocre life. If you want to do something in your life, again I highlight, do something.
Mm.
Okay. When we are saying do something,
Mm.
your dictionary should not consist a word called as failure. You should replace that word
Right.
with learning. There's nothing called as failure.
Wow.
It is learning.
Wow.
Okay.
Mm.
Every step you take in your life, everything is a learning. Fail 100
True.
times, but do not fail for that 100 things what you did, what you failed for. Fail for that
Oh,
101 new
that's
thing.
great.
Okay. And I again highlight, if you want to do something, then do something, or else live a mediocre life.
Mm.
All right. So
Wow.
that's what I would probably put it
What?
across.
Wow. What in the
Were
faces of
not
everybody,
saying
because that is what we require. We don't require a sugar coated pill. We require a hard hitting truth about ourselves and
yes,
what we
yes.
are trying to do over here. So I think that I will take my 30 seconds of glory right now. So I think whenever you look at the inner chaos, don't look it as your enemy. Okay, the enemy is the confusion. The chaos is actually a very potent field where you can actually gauge what is going wrong in your life. Okay, this is how universe operate. If you see the universe, it would start creating galaxies and planets and all black holes which are not inhabitable. They are like dead spaces, but then also universe creates, and we'll say why universe is creating such kind of dead pieces of artifact. I would say the artist or the unit that he creates. And that was a question that was really posed, and that is already there into philosophy, that why universe create chaos, why universe create negative things, why universe is so powerful and so potent enough to create a livable planet, but why it is doing so. Universe is just creating, okay, and once it start creating chaos, it is a kind of a reference point for the universe to what not to do. Chaos is always telling you what is not to do and what you how you can improve. And whenever you have, and universe travel in a straight line, it never go reverse, it is traveling in the straight line, creating. It is not going back and contemplating what I've created. No. And that same force is with us, and that is what we call as flow. Lot many people say I was in flow state. The flow state can be only achieved if you are not restricting yourself with self conflict, if you're not restricting yourself with negativity, yourself with shame and guilt that you have, but keep on progressing and practicing and disciplining yourself into that. And that's how universe is disciplining itself, and that's why it is going in a linear position. So whenever you are into one of the thinking loop, that is a black hole that you're creating into your own universe. Okay, so don't create only black holes, create new planets, new galaxy, new solar systems. Go and do that. Okay, so it is always said that your chaos is not your enemy, confusion is. And confusion is a outcome of overthinking, over identifying, and over suppressing your emotions. So when you name the pattern, you take the power away of it. Okay, that is what I want to tell you. When you name the pattern, you take away the power out of it. And tonight, choose clarity, not control. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. So tonight, choose clarity, not control. Don't control it. Just look at it. Just observe it. Just see it, understand it, and express it. Okay, so that's the closing thought from me. So next time we will be looking forward for a new set of topic that would be in our next week. And I would love to have the same panel if they want to join in for the next session as well, and we can have a very insightful session as well. So thank you so much, guys. I am so humbled and so much honored that you have been on my platform, and to my audience that would have been the same experience. So thank you so much for joining this high self battle room, and we'll come back next week with a new breakthrough. Until then, you can be kind to your mind. This is Abhijit and signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful
Thank you.
session. You have taken a great initiative, Abhijit. Thank you. Thank you. Keep practicing all these things. If possible, we'll join. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Atish. Thank you, Nisha. Bye, bye, bye.
Thank you, Ishwarya. Thank you, Atish. Abhijit, once again, your inferences, I would like to see that written and published.